Okay, welcome back, and we're talking about Unit 5 in the book, page 91. Page 91, and we're talking about travel and sports and exercise right here on that page. So we talked about travel going someplace different, sports and exercise. You know, which sports are different. Maybe rugby would be something new. And exercise, well, you can't go to a gym. I don't think gyms are open that much with coronavirus, but maybe you can go outside and walk a little bit more. You can't go swimming or anything else, but something that you can do on your own idea, and then you can write your plan to be more adventurous right here. So there you go with your plan to be more adventurous right there. So introduction right here, and the area where I want to be more adventurous is in food, school, career, travel, or sports, exercise, or your idea. And steps, these are some of the different ways I'm going to be more adventurous. I will do this every month. Also, I will do this and do that. So try to write these things in right there. And that may have been a good topic for a midterm. It might be a topic for a YouTube video. I might have you do a YouTube video for 3 or 5 minutes on it later in May. So we'll see how that goes. Please remember to send CQI to me now. Okay? Thank you. Print it. Suseo, write, time, date, day, send it to me. Scan it, or whatever. Personalizing. Do you take risk with foods? So this is page 90. Personalizing. Do you take risks with food? What foods do you know about? Have you ever eaten any of these? So durian, arachnids and insects, black pudding, and kangaroo meat. Do you want to try any of them? Which ones? So which ones would you like to try? I don't think I said before I like to try the insects and arachnids. Maybe durian and kangaroo meat would be fine. I'm not very adventurous when it comes to food. As I said, about the strangest thing I've ever eaten would be alligator meat in Washington, D.C. about 30 years ago. That's about as far as I go with that. So, you want to use this as a topic of conversation. It's something really interesting, and it's something a little bit diverse in conversation. So you can use it, and you can go into it a little bit deeper than you usually would. And it's a fun conversation to talk about. And you need to be talking at least a few days a week to different people. And let's see here. I think I'll have another anyone video, how to talk to anyone, right here with the same speaker. Okay.
Probably. Behavior. Well, probably.
If you're like me, the first piece of advice your mom ever gave you was, don't talk to strangers. And now I have a whole video that your mom, and maybe even my mom, is really not going to like. I want to teach you how to talk to strangers. I'll show you how to approach anyone about anything. Hello, stranger. My name is Vanessa Van Edwards, and I'm a behavioral investigator at our Human Behavior Research Lab, The Science of People. This video is kind of funny. because I'm telling you how to talk to strangers, even though technically we are strangers. I find this topic fascinating because for our entire childhood, we are taught not to talk to strangers. And then all of a sudden, we become adults and we have to talk to strangers all day long and befriend them and work with them. Strangers usually interview us for jobs. We take classes with strangers. We present to strangers in meetings. We are supposed to network with strangers at networking events. The list goes on and on. Even though you might not have been given this very important skill growing up, I want to teach you how you can bond quickly and effectively with new people. Step number 1, the warm-up. Before we even talk about what to say to a stranger, I want to talk about your warm-up, your approach, and what happens before the interaction. You could call this stranger foreplay. To avoid a cold interaction, you want to have a warm approach. The most important thing you want to do when you are approaching a stranger for the first time is to send off friend signals. When we first meet someone, our brain has to quickly decide friend or foe. Foe signals are crossed arms, lack of gazing, hidden hands. Friend signals are open body language, having an open torso with nothing blocking you. Direct eye contact upon approach, and visible hands ready for the handshake. So friend signals are summarized simply into 3 counterpoints: open body language, direct eye contact, and visible hands. Make sure you approach people with friend signals. Bonus points if you can smile. Step number 2, the opener. Okay, so you've approached with warm, friend, nonverbal signals. Now what do you say with your verbal? Pickups, opening lines, these all tend to make people very nervous. Don't worry. The opening line is actually not as important as you think. One of the best, most effective pickup lines is also the simplest. Are you ready for it? The best opening line is just, "Hey, how are you?" Simple, right? Easy and effective. Don't drive yourself crazy coming up with something clever. Just say, "Hey, how are you?" and your name. This has worked for me 100% of the time. Number 3, the shake. After your opening line, or during it, give out your hand for a nice, solid handshake. What if you aren't much of a shaker? Too bad. I want you to step up and shake anyways. Why? Handshakes are so important. The moment your skin touches someone else's skin, you release chemicals that help you bond. If you need to supercharge your handshake, check out our video on the art of the perfect handshake. Good rules of thumb are always keep your hands dry and keep your handshake firm. Number 4, the intro. Okay, let's review. So far, you've approached with warm body language, used a simple opening line, given a nice handshake. Now it's time to introduce yourself. Right after you do the, "Hey, how are you?" you want to start building rapport. The best way to do this is to say who you are and how you arrived. And if you can, bounce it back to them. For example, I could say, "Hey, I'm Vanessa. This is my first time at this conference. How about you?" Then they respond, and guess what? Now you're in a conversation, and no longer strangers. My final tip is that you should use food and drink as an opener if you can. Sitting at the bar is the easiest way to start a conversation with the person next to you. Siding up to the buffet to chit-chat is super simple. We all eat and drink, so it's an easy way in. Okay, that's it. Now I'm going to give you the advice your mama never gave you. Go out and talk to some strangers.
Okay, thanks very much, and that's the end of that video right there. And
Hi there, my name is Chris Americos, and I've been teaching English for the...
Finished with that. Right there. So different strategies on how to talk to people, how to talk to anyone, conversation openers, how to open a conversation, and not really anything to close it, but we know how to close it. Well, I have to be going, nice talking with you, closing a conversation. So opening, maintaining the conversation, topics of mutual interest, things that are not controversial, and maintaining a good attitude throughout. All right, so we've gone through the book. We've gone through grammar for speaking. I want to go to page 98 right here. Page 98 for speaking, and talk about the simple past. You know, some students have a problem with the simple past. I go to Japan. I went to Japan. We were in Australia. We is in Australia. We were in Australia. So you have to know the simple past. And when you speak, I'll be asking you about that. What did you do? Where did you go? So ed is usually the past tense, and then you have the irregular verbs in the simple past, like the base form of be, was, were, do, did, feel, felt, find, found, get, got, go, went, have, had, hear, heard, know, knew, and woke up on page 98. So on page 98, that's what we have there for those things that we're talking about. Right there. Going and pronunciation, the simple past, ed endings on page 99. And that was from Unit 5. And risk reward, we talked about that right there. And are you a risk taker? That's a good thing for YouTube or an essay right there. So risk and reward does have some grammar in it right there. Extreme risk. We talk about Unit 3. Talk about the WH questions on page 57. Page 57, the WH questions. Who, what, where, when, why, and how. So asking questions on where did they go, and past tense, went. Where is it? It is in. So that's the present tense, is in, right there. And the grammar speaking, present continuous, M plus verb ing. So page 49, M plus verb ing. I'll be looking for that on your midterm. Am reading now. So on page 49 right here, the top, am reading well, is staying. That's in the present tense, present continuous. Affirmative, I'm enjoying my trip. Negative, I'm not taking the tour. She is eating at the hotel. She is not eating at the hotel. They are trying a new place. They're not eating at the hotel. Yes, no questions. Are you working next week? Yes, I am. No, I'm not. And right here on C, the present continuous forms in the verbs in parentheses. I'm looking right there on page 49. So I'm doing this, I'm doing that for the present tense. Okay, so that was pretty good. Now we go to the first chapter, chapter 2. We talk about the simple present right here, which is not the simple past. Page 28, page 28 right here. Grammar for speaking. So affirmative, I, you, we, they work. Negative, we don't work. He, she, it works. Affirmative, he, she, it doesn't work in the negative. Yes, no questions. Do you work? Yes, I do. No, I don't. I do. I, negative, don't. Does she work? Yes, she does. No, she doesn't. Not yes, she do. Yes, she does. He, she, it does. I, you, we, they do. So that's the difference between the two right there. Okay, so going through the book a little bit right there. And the outline of the book, again, going through different grammar. The grammar in the book on units 2, 3, and 5. And getting on to Zoom right there. I've sent you some links. You might want to go onto YouTube in Korean to see how to use Zoom, in English also. But it's very easy to get to Zoom. You're sent an internet link and a password, and you get on to Zoom. Again, this is a few weeks away, except for Monday. Monday does it on the 4th. And then Tuesday class is on May 12th, and Thursday class is on May 14th. So that's the difference. You have to set an appointment. You have to tell me what time and day you want it before May 5. And for Monday, that's on April 30. I need to know by April 30 right there. All right, so we're moving right along. Last time I had the conversation cubes right here with different questions on them. Right here, different questions. What do you like to do in warm weather? Name something you are afraid of. So we have these blocks right here with questions all on them. So let's do a new question block right here. Okay, let's start with a very simple question. What kind of ice cream do you like? What kind of ice cream do you like? So this is something that you can write down, Suseo, and ask your friends or relatives that. So what kind of ice cream do you like? I like vanilla with chocolate chips, or mint chocolate chip, which is green mint and chocolate chips inside. It's very tasty, and I love the chocolate chips. Not so much chocolate ice cream, but chocolate chips. It's very good for me. Notice how I'm using the past tense. I liked. In present tense, I like. Here's another one. Name something you want to buy. Name something you want to buy. I think I'd like to buy a new desktop computer. I have a new laptop, but I want a desktop because I love the big screen and the ability to use that and have it run, all day. It's kind of interesting to have on the weekend when I'm working. And the weather's not good. It's raining outside, and I'm working on it. We have these things. There's also a link to America, watch videos, movies on it, and everything else. So that's always good to have. Name something you like to buy. Okay. Next one right here. What game do you like to play? So please just say, what game do you like to play? I like to play chess. I can play chess online with a computer. Just type in play chess game or chess computer game on Google, and you'll come up with sites that you can play chess for free against a computer. And sometimes I have it on a complex setting, and sometimes I have it on a really easy setting so I can win easily. So it's always fun. It's good for stress relief. And, it goes on and on. It's quite good. I recommend it. And I have a chess board. I play it with my son sometimes. I let him win. I'm teaching him how to play chess. He's 7 years old. He's quite active, and he likes to play it. He likes to use the different pieces, and strategize. But I tell him not to go too fast. It's not a race to win a chess game. It's a strategy game. You don't have to go fast. Slower is a little better thing because it's a deliberate thought process. What is the most important thing you own? What is the most important thing you own? I would say a ring that my wife gave me for my wedding. I don't wear rings that much, but that one is special. So maybe I'll wear it on a special occasion, a special day, like wedding anniversary, birthday, Christmas, New Year's, something like that. So that's interesting. So these are just nice conversation questions that you can talk about. Okay, another one is, what subject do you like? What subject do you like? I like history. You learn a lot from history, the mistakes that people made, the successes that people made, and the things how you can adjust that in your own life. Not going too fast, not going too slow, finding out which economic models work, correcting the mistakes of the past, the tragedies of the past. All are good to learn from history, because if we don't learn from history, as the cliche goes, we tend to repeat the mistakes over and over again. So let's not repeat the mistakes. Let's learn from the past and make it better. Okay. I think that's almost it, but there's one last one. What is the strangest dream you've ever had? Past tense, ever had. So, what is the strangest dream you have had? So I had a dream once where people were turning into sharks, swimming in the ocean, and people are turning into sharks, and they're not attacking me, but they're coming very close to me. So I'm swimming to the shore, but people are walking into the ocean and turning into sharks and coming at me, so I have to go away. So it's a stressful dream, a strange dream, but one that I remember. So that was one dream that I had. Okay. So those are the conversation blocks. Don't want to use those in class because coronavirus, people touch it, coronavirus gets on. So coronavirus has changed everything. You can't even go to the gym. I don't think this coronavirus will go away until 2021, maybe March next year, April next year. It will finally go away. I think it will go away a little bit in July, August, but then come back in November, come back in October, November, December. So I think there's like a first wave of coronavirus and then a second wave of coronavirus. First one, then second one. It can be a little bit hard. So next time, what you do is you need to send me the CQI. Please send it to me. Please print, write, Suseo, take a photo, tell me what day and time. Send it to me right away now if you can. Please do that. I really need it. I need this to help you, so please send it to me. And I want to thank you very much for being my students and very much for helping me and your emails, telling me to try different things when I'm talking and everything else. And people said, follow the book, but make it entertaining. Do something a little bit different. So this time I did something a little bit different. I'm here to take your questions on the midterm. You have to be diligent, DILIGENT, about the midterm, and send it to me. Send me your topic choice and the time that you want to take it. I need to see that, so please do that. I need it. Don't forget that, because if you don't, I will choose what time you go on, and you will have to be there. And if you don't, it's 20% of your grade. So please, please help yourself by choosing the right time for this midterm. Okay, that's it for now. Thank you very much for being my students. Any questions, please email me. Thank you.